Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to work on your project site. By now, hopefully you have the site created. And you can see it consists of 4 folders: About, Contacts, CSS, actually 5 folders, Images, and Templates. You're going to be working strictly off the project template. And we'll go in a live view, and you can see what you have up here. There's a graphic that's going to go up here, which will be 760 by, I believe, 200. You can make your own graphic, or you can allow me to create a class graphic, which I will put up top in Canvas, and you can insert it there through CSS, or you can actually insert it through just insert image over here. Normally, you don't want a background image because you want the actual header to take up the entire image background size. Won't be taken up if you actually use a background image from CSS. So what you want to do is insert image, like I just said, and that will take up the exact size of the graphic. So then you have Home, About Us, Link 3, Link 4, and Contact Us. It's set in a div called Container, which I put a width on it and given it a border. I put a background image on the body, which is from one of the project files, which I think it looks neat over here. I put this background color here, green, so you can see that this is the header. This is the navigation. And you can see that the code for it is, the Hoover is already done for you. I may change it and make this all black. I may get this background changed where I'm not real fond of. However, for right now, we're going to leave it this color, and then you can make changes for the different colors as you see fit. I'll show you how to do it. It's really very easy. Each page is going to have its own page name. So you would have it. So this is, if it's the index, it's going to say, welcome to my site, blah, 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 whatever it is here. The columns, you have a column 1 and a column 2, or left and right, depending upon how you have it. You're going to have a heading in here for column 1 and a heading in here for column 2. Notice I've given you a little padding on the top. You can adjust that if you like, make it a little bit less if you prefer. Then you need to put an image here, which needs to be 180 by 180. So I'm going to go in, change that in design. Now remember, when you're in design, all the CSS, the floats don't work. Let's just, okay, that takes care of that. So I'm going to save this right now, and I'll update the images. Okay, now what I'm going to do is create a new file, and I'm going to, from the project, and I'm going to call it index. That is going to be your home page. This is the only one that should be in the root directory. You can see in the images folder is the background image that we have here. We have CSS is the project styles. That's what's formatting all this for you. Down at the bottom, you have a footer. Let's go back into the project template. You can change the project template as you see fit. But remember, because this is an editable region here, and this is an editable region here, any changes that you make in there will not get updated. So I will show you what I'm talking about. We already saved it. Let's open up the About. Okay, notice any change that I made does not get updated. You do not want your editable regions updated when you take a change in the template, because all the changes that you've made in the editable region will get overwritten. So that's as simple as that. Let's go back in here. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a graphic in here. Again, I highly recommend insert image and put it in here. take out this put graphic here. Now we need to link to home. I've already done that. So if you haven't done it in your site, you can just click on it because you won't have it. You can just point to the index, or you can browse, whatever you see fit. Then the About Us is already done for you. Link 3 and Link 4 are pages that you're going to need to create in your site, such as products and services, or maybe you have products, maybe you have services, maybe you have a photo gallery. That's entirely up to you. And again, you'll change the page name. You'll put the information here about the page, just a little bit of information about the page, and an image. You can put more than one image if you want in here. And then in column 2 is where you're going to put all the meat of your page itself. Down at the bottom is your footer, which you have no access to. So I'm going to show you now in the template, I'm going to make a change to the footer. So let's get rid of this content. And again, you know I like to do stuff in code view to make sure that everything is here. So content to the new footer tag goes here. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to save it. And notice that it's going to update the pages. Okay, and it updated the image, it updated About Us, and it updated Contact Us. So let's go into these files and let's see. Notice that it's there. You don't have access to it, but it is there. And again, let's go into Live. And it's a little bit different. You don't get that little graphic, the no sign. But you can't do anything here. You can't do anything here. You can't do anything here, but you can do things here. And if you go into design view, you'll see the little no sign, and no sign. So that takes care of that. So again, you're going to need to create the pages for link 3 and link 4. The Contact Us page is going to be an actual form. So let's open up the Contact Us page. And you can see, let's go into Live. So what you're going to need to do is insert a form here. You should know how to do that. Simple insert an HTML and form. You can use the code from the chapter in the book that has you do that. So you can just go insert and form, or you can go into the insert here and choose form. Now remember, the first time you create the form, it actually just creates the form. So I'll do that for you right now, and I'll just drag it over here. And we have a form here. If you go into code view, you can see all you have is a form. So you'll need to fill in the actual files that you need, last name, first name, email, address, phone, whatever you decide on doing. Usually a contact form is something where you can email and get information about the page. You might have comments. What can we do to help you? So on and so forth. You might want to have a support page too if you have a products website, and maybe get returns or whatever, FAQs, all kinds of things. So whatever you want to do is on your own. If you want to run it by me before you do it, that's fine as well. The About Us page again. Notice you have About Us in here already done. You can change whatever you want in there. Also, remember, every page has to have a title. You can see that you have document title down here. It says untitled document. Make sure that you name each page. You will lose points if I see any pages that say untitled document. So please make sure that you do that. I know we've talked about that a gazillion times. So to recap, creating a new page, File New, make sure you're doing it from Project, click on Create. Okay, I'm going to review the CSS file just briefly. and I'm going to actually show you what some of the stuff is. Then I'm going to create another file or another video that talks more in depth of the actual CSS in there. You should not make any changes to the CSS file. The reason is I may update some things and post it, and then if you upload it, it's going to override what you already have. So what you're going to do is go into the CSS Designer. You're going to create a new source. You're going to browse to the CSS directory, and you're just going to call it whatever you want to call it. And make sure you choose link. What that'll do for you is it will add this over here. And then you can make changes in new styles or whatever you decide to name it. So let's click on save, and we want to update everything. All 3 files got updated. That's good. So let's go into index and code. And you can see you have no access to this, by the way. And you can see that it did add it. So let's save everything. And we're good on that one. Okay, I'm going to open up the project style CSS and just briefly show you what's in it. Okay, and I'm going to move this footer P below the footer. Okay, don't worry about this box sizing right now. Okay, in the body we have something that's set up for you. Do not make any changes in here unless you want to change the actual image itself. I took the image that was in one of the projects. I don't remember which one it was, but I took that one over here. Notice that it's kind of transparent over there. So we used a background color to fill it in. This sets the actual color for the entire website to black for the text. And we did the background position over here. Okay, the header, I put a background color of green just so it stands out. And we have a height of 200. And then same thing with the footer. The background color I made is the blue over here, which I took from one of the actual colors in the site. We want white text. We want it centered. I put padding on the top and the bottom. Do not put any padding on the footer itself. I made the font size of the paragraph inside the footer a little bit bigger than a normal font. Okay, the container is the entire site, not counting the body. So that's all of this here. And from the container, is where you see the width is set and it's centered, margin left and right are both set to auto. Then we have that 5-pixel solid border. So that makes the actual width of the container 960 plus 5 plus 5 or 970. This no border is so that we have the, let me go into live. Here's a border here, here's a border here, here's a border here, here's a border here. This has a class of no border, and the reason for that is so you don't see that white line on the right side of it, which would be the right border. Let's go back over here. So the page name is the actual text itself. You can change the size of it if you want. I put a little bit of letter spacing to make it look a little bit nicer. Let's go back to that, and you can see the little letter spacing. Okay, the nav, again, I've made the font size a little bit bigger, and I made everything uppercase. However, you can change that if you like. Centered, we have the width over here is 940, and we have the border radius of, this is what makes it look rounded. Then we have the unordered list is formatted here. Again, the display block is what allows you to be anywhere in it, regardless of whether it's text, and select it. Here's how we're doing the list item, which are the elements themselves. Then you can see that we don't want text decoration. I put none for each one of these in case you wanted to put an underline in or something different in here. Okay, we have the specific colors, except when with the hover. Notice that we changed the color to white and the background to black. And then the active is if you actually have your mouse over it and push down. Okay, then we have the columns over here, and that's what makes the side-by-side columns. This height here, 300, needs to be removed. I put it there just to give it some height and make it easier for you guys to see what's going on. Okay, then we have a specific column left with a width of 200 and padding left and right over here. So that would actually make the column width 220. Then we have a column center, which I did. So let me show you what that actually is. All that did is this. I do it that way because I don't have to worry about div heights. And if you choose a different color background, the div may show up over here, and this may already be down. This way, it all looks nice over here. Let's go back into code. And the row after, you don't really need to worry about what that is. That just clears everything in here. So that's it for the actual CSS. I will probably do something a little bit more in detail. So again, some of the rules that you need to follow is there can be no file names that have a capital letter in it. Everything needs to be lowercase, and then you can use a hyphen if you wish. That's not a problem. Put all your information here and make sure that you create pages here. Your pages need to be formatted nicely. If you want to use the double column that we did in one of the projects over here, make sure that you use the 3 of them. Set the columns to 2 or 3, whatever you want. That'll make it look like a newspaper. You can do that in any one of the HTML pages. Obviously not to contact us, but you can do that in the About Us. If you want, you obviously don't have to unless you want to. And I have a graphic that I'll be making and posting that you can use. Again, I believe I've already talked about it, or you can create your own. And that's it for this video. So I'll be talking to you soon.